Alright, finding the Edconnect8 X user guide, federal student aid. Passwords. 4-1. Type of the password. The educational connects required two different types of passwords. The financial student aid uses the password. The student aid internet gateway password. Each of the users must enter the financial student aid user password to log in. The software education connection uses the student aid internet gateway, also known as the student aid internet gateway mail word password to connect the student aid internet gateway. After you've established student aid internet gateway, you need and to enter the student aid internet gateway password in order to transmit education connection stored with the student aid internet gateway. It sends it in automatically each time that you connect the student aid internet gateway. Financial student aid user password. The financial student aid user passwords are issued by the financial student aid. To change your password, select the forget and password button on the security authentication screen. Users will then be routed to change the password website and guided through the process. The group ID TG, the financial student user ID, the financial student aid user password, security code, OK, and cancel help. The forgotten password regular. Student aid internet gateway password. Student aid internet gateway password is independent of the education connection with the financial student user aid ID password. The student aid internet gateway controlled by the group level within password for the mailbox. The user can set with the change of the student aid internet gateway password. The network tab of the group of the properties dialog box. See the section 4 through the student aid internet gateway password for the detailed instructions on how to change the student aid internet gateway password. 4.2. Financial student aid user password. Each of them must enter the financial student user aid password to log in the software. Each of the financial student aid user the ID of the Education Connect security view has its own personal password for the education startup. The security authentication dialog will appear. Enter the select of the group of the ID TG number the financial student user ID with the drop down list, and they enter the financial student aid user password assigned with the financial student aid on your one-time password. If inapplicable, the Education Connection has specific rules for the financial student aid user password. Must be 8 characters long. Cannot be one of the 5 previous passwords. Must contain 3 of the following: using an uppercase letter or lowercase letter and a number of 0 through 9, and special character using password containing special keyboard characters such as the @ number, the pound, dollar symbol. Because some of the computer platforms use certain special characters, characters, recommending and avoiding percentage, and then cartel, caret, ampersand, backslash, forward slash, and less than and greater than pipe symbol. Helpful hints: if you are still unable to log into the Edconnect, please contact the Student Aid Internet Gateway Help Desk at 800-330-5947 by email the cpssaig8@ed.gov for assistance. 4.2.1. Changing the financial student aid user password. Financial student aid user password is managed with the financial student aid with the AIMS website. You can access the website selecting the forgotten password button. Security authentication screen will be guided through the process of the changing of the financial student aid user password. Authentication group, the TG number, the financial student aid, financial student use password, security code, and the forgot OK cancel the register, maintain and forgotten. Authentication use successful change with your password. Return the security authentication screen to log in. Helpful: all passwords the ED connector are case sensitive. Be sure to use the same capitalization each time you type in the FSA user and password. 4.3. Student Aid Internet Gateway password. Education uses the Student Aid Internet Gateway password, also group with the group password, the GG password, the network password to access the Student Aid Internet Gateway password when you receive the data with your production Student Aid Internet Gateway password. Your test of the Student Aid Internet password Internet Gateway password are not in sync, or they are unable to access the test environmental contact with the Student Aid Internet Gateway. The CPS help the desktop to develop to have the reset with your test password. The password expires after 90 days. The Student Aid Internet Gateway password can be set or changed with the network tab or the group of the properties dialog. And Education Connection has specific rules for the Student Aid Internet Gateway passwords. Must maintain a minimum length of 8 characters. Must begin with alpha characters. Must contain at least 2 alpha characters with a different case for the upper lowercase. At least one of the numerical characters cannot be the word password. Uppercase, lowercase, middle case cannot be same as any of the previous 5 passwords. Passwords will be locked out after 3 failures. You must wait 30 minutes for the password to be unlocked. After 30 minutes, you can try again. If you have been forgotten, your password can contain special characters. Student Internet Gateway passwords contain special keyword characters such as the @ £sign as money sign. Because of some of the computer platforms use certain special characters, command characters recommended avoiding percentage, caret, and ampersand, backslash, forward slash, less than, greater than, and pipe symbol. All passwords in the education connection are case sensitive. The student aid internet gateway password expires in 90 days every 90 days. Student aid internet gateway password is tied in the destination point with the TG number, the connection type of the production test eligible. Each user of the education connection has his or her own financial student aid user password. There is only one student aid internet gateway password PGG number, the connection type. You can set up the more as one security group within the TG number and the connection type. Since the groups that connect with the student aid internet gateway the same with the TG number, the connection type. It must be the same student aid internet gateway password. Helpful hints: each of the TG number, the connection type, the combinations has its own student aid internet gateway password. Each user of the education connection has his or her own financial student aid user password. Users do not need to know the student aid internet gateway password to log in the Edconnect or to transmit. As the expiration date of the student aid internet gateway password approaches, you will receive the warning that that password is approved is about to expire when the transmitted with the educational connection. 431, changing your student aid internet gateway password. You have two options for changing the student aid internet gateway password: local and only network in the local. Your student aid internet gateway password is associated with the TG number, the connection type of the store with the edge connection with the student aid internet gateway. The use student aid education internet gateway mailbox compared with the password transmitted with the ed content with the password stored with the student aid internet gateway to conform your group integrity identity with the during each transmission. Local only, the password change with the set of the password to ed connection with it does not transmit. The password change with the student aid internet gateway mailbox the network and the low with the password change and sets with the password with the education transmits the change with the student aid internet gateway. You However, the student aid internet gateway password reset with the student aid internet gateway help desk. You must perform a local only password change with the change of the student aid internet gateway password to the password assigned to you uppercase without the quotation marks. Perform network and local password changes to establish a new password on the student aid internet gateway. If only reinstalling education, but I already have installed with the student aid internet gateway password, a local and only password change will synchronize the password for the education connection to make as the password stored in the student aid internet gateway mailbox. Helpful hints: all passwords and education connections are case sensitive. Be sure that you have the same capitalization each time that you type your student aid internet gateway password. 432, performing a local and only student aid internet gateway password change. Open the security view button, selecting the new on the file menu, selecting the security view from the list of the views. You can also check the security view button with the Education Connect's main toolbar. Right click on the desired group of the security view, select the properties with the pop-up menu, select the network tab with the group properties dialogues. You have your general access network, TG, number, the password, new and verified change type, new network or local only, collect connection, protection type, the debug tracing on or off. Type your current student aid internet gateway password. The next text box. Note: if you are accessing this new student aid internet gateway box for the first time, the default password is an 8-digit number completed of the year, the department, the DPA's direct birth, and last 4 digits of the social security number. If you have and had your password reset with the student aid internet gateway help desk, new password is password. And uppercase without the quotation mark. Some of the other assigned passwords. Type your password again and verify the text box. 7. Select the local only up option. Change the type, and if not already selected, check OK for the message. Local TG password change appears. The local TG password change. Click on the OK to return the security view. Local only password change for the set of the student aid internet gateway password with the education connection without sending the password for the change the student aid internet gateway with local only with the password change if necessary after the password has been reset with the student aid internet gateway help desk. When you move the education connection, move the different PC. When you install the education connection on several PCs, they share one TG number. The connection type must have separate education connection databases. Your local TG password must match the student internet gateway password in order to transmit successfully. 433, the performing of the network local student aid internet gateway password in the security view of the selecting new and from the file menu, selecting the security view of the list of the views, and also security view button, the education connection main toolbar. Right click on the desired within the security view of the properties for the pop-up menu, select the network on the tab of the group properties, general access network, the TG group and number of the password, and change the type network or only connection type in the project, debugging, tracing on and off. Type your new student aid internet gateway password in the new text box, and type the new password again, verify the text by using the same capitalization, select the network or local change, and just type, if not already selected, you click OK. The message with the TG password changes the request added to the transmission queue appears. The TG password change the request to add the transmission queue. Click OK to the security view and select now with the transmissions menu. Select the transmit OK and send the new password to the student aid internet gateway. Select the new network local. Change the network tab with the group of the property dialogues. Will create the password change requested in transmission quote. Education connection will transmit the request for the next time you send to receive the data. You must need to perform the network local password change every 90 days during the student aid internet gateway password will expire. Alright, 434, changing the student aid internet gateway password after the help desk resets it. Right click on the desired group with the security view, select the property for the pop-up menu, select the network tab with the group properties dialog, type the assigned password of the next text box, type your assigned password again in the verifying text box. Select local or as a change type if you're not already selected. Click apply and then the local TG password change that appears. Click OK. Respond to the message. The group properties dialog will stay on your screen. Type your new password in the new text box. Type the password again, but verify the text box using the same capitalization. Select the new network local option if not already selected. Click OK. Message if the TG password change request added to the transmission queue appears. TG password or changes the request added to the transmission queue. Click OK to return the security view. Select now with the transmission menu with the transmit icon to send with the new password to the student aid internet gateway. 435, changing your student aid internet gateway password after it's expired. Your student aid internet gateway password expired within 90 days after they warned with the student aid internet gateway to do the expiring 9 days before the expiration date. With the expiration date, with the warning period is set with the student aid internet gateway network cannot be modified. To access the group property dialog security view, with the right click on the desired group name, select the property for the pop-up menu, select the network for the check of the expiration date. If the attempt to connect to the student aid internet gateway after password expired, the message box appears indicating the password has been expired. Your student aid internet gateway network password has expired. Will you like to change it now? You do not need to have the student aid internet gateway help with us reset your password. If you receive this message, the student aid internet gateway will allow you to receive the data as long as you transmit the password change. Change the student aid internet gateway password. Yes, will align to the group properties dialog displayed on the next page. As you enter the student aid internet gateway password, try another transmission aid connection will send your password changed along with any of the other items of the transmission queue. Helpful hints. If you have had your password reset with the Student Aid Internet Gateway Help Desk, the password of the Student Aid Internet Gateway mailbox will temporarily set to password or sometimes other assigned password to enable you to transmit the password change. You must perform a local-only password change with changing your password to password other than the assigned password. You must perform a network local password change to set your Student Aid Internet Gateway password to the password of your own choice. Alright, 436. Important notice. Your enhanced security with your account will lock off after 3 failed transmissions due to the expired, invalid student internet gateway password. Users must wait a period of 30 minutes for an account to contact the student aid internet gateway help desk at 800-330-5947 for immediate assistance. The student aid internet gateway help desk must talk directly to the destination point administrator or the secondary destination point administrator to verify the personal identifiers before the resetting of your student aid internet gateway password. Unlocking your account, the destination point administrator and the secondary destination point administrator should be properly supplied with his or her social security number, the date of birth. The student aid internet gateway password changes the screen. Example illustration: password changes screen 3 of the student aid internet gateway password. The network TG number, the TG password, verify the name, the and the type of the connection and protection. 5. Data transmission. Receiving data. 5.1. Sending data. You send data in the student aid internet gateway processing, creating files containing data, then adding the files to the transmission queue. The sending request. When an education connection with the student aid internet gateway, it sends the files from your PC to the student aid internet gateway with the appropriate title for the application system picks up your files and processes them, return them processed data to your mailbox. Receiving data. When you receive the data by adding a request for the transmission queue, will the education connect with the student aid internet gateway mailbox and retrieve the processed first files placed in the student aid internet gateway mailbox by the Title IV application system, returns them to your PC. 513 helpful hint. You can send and receive data as well as perform password changes during the same connection to the student aid internet gateway. You must have the message class table imported before you can make a transmission. 514 data transmission menu. The transmission menu with the main menu bar gives them three choices now, later, and tests. Selecting the now option starting with the student aid internet gateway immediately all the data queued with the setting of the student aid internet gateway promptly marked with the transmission queue are sent with all data queued and received for your mailbox properly marked with the transmission queue or received provided with the data in your mailbox. Selecting later option with the transmission dialog box that enables you to select the time date of the education connection of the connect with the student aid internet gateway mailbox. Select the test option and transmission with the test file, student aid internet gateway that sends the request to the same file. Education connects to the creates the test file so that you do not need to add the transmission queue before you perform the transmission test. The test option will also send the student aid internet gateway password change if you have only one of your educational transmission queues. The helpful hint: if you set up a later transmission, edge connection must remain open until the time you select the later transmission. Arrive the message box tracks for the time remaining until the education connection transmits your data. Alright, 515, transmission queued. Transmission queued is the list of the pending requests of the send and receive the data or making password changes below. It's partial image of the transmission queue. Request the main T transmission queue until the education connection processes during the transmission until you remove them from the T transmission queue. You can open the T queue, selecting new in the file menu, choosing the transmission queue from selecting the list of the views. You can also click on the transmission queue between the education connection main toolbar to add records manually for the T queue. Transportation queue, move the cursor from the first blank of line to the Q queue, complete each of the field, either the type of the selection, clicking by the down arrow to display the menu choices. Complete the rest of the fields with the same row. The education connection does not let you move the no row until you have completed all the necessary fields for the current row. You will know that the line completely when the pencil symbol on the far left of the row disappears. The record is then ready to transmit. Below is an example. The pop-up dialog appears when you selected the down arrow in the field name. The step is usually final step of the prepared with the record transmission queue. The data filled with the dialog appears enabled to select a specific file that you want to send. Like this, for instance, shows the description of the U4, U5 common record documents of the message class and the file name. With a pencil, data files. Helpful hints: if you know the message class of the file when we want to read the type of the message class, it will be fill in the all necessary fields automatically. If you will receive all the data messages, go to the description column and select all data, all messages from the list. This action will fill in all the necessary fields automatically. 516, TQ pamphlets. Creating a transmission queue is listing the pending request of the sending of the receiving the data to make password changes. Records remaining with the transmission queue until the education connection process during the transmission until the removed from the transmission queue. You can save the current view for the transmission queue with make all the into template file that you can be loaded back in the transmission queue later. To create a template file, these instructions create a group of the records into the transmission queue that plan to use repeatedly in the future. Select the Save As file menu. Choose the location to save the file. Give it the name that you'll remember as part of the file name. Be sure to include the extension TQT when naming the template file, or click OK. Alright, helpful hints. Templates are snapshots of the current view saved into the file, saved to a file. Templates can be especially useful with the common tasks. Instead of manually creating the same records each of the time, you can load a template, which is the records you already created. 516. 2. Opening the transmission queue template so you can retrieve the snapshot of the transmission queue with the view of the opening transmission queue template file using the following method. Select Open from the file menu with the education connection. Select the name of the transmission queue template and use the mouse to drag the transmission queue template file from the window explorer to open the transmission queue. Use the template with the All Professional Education Connection 8 in the menu with the pre-created templates for the Education 8 folder on the Programs menu. Selecting a template will open the Education Connection 8. Helpful hints. Education automatically places several common text transmission queue templates files in the educational directory during installation. You cannot import the transportation queue templates files associated with earlier versions of Edconnect and Edconnect8 X. Alright, 517 activity log. Activity log stored the record of all transmission made using Edconnect. The list of files that have been sent with the receipt of the student aid internet gateway password changes that have been transmitted, and any transmission errors that occurred within the sending of the receiving. You can open the activity log by selecting new of the file menu, selecting the activity log from the list of views. Archiving activity log records. Open the activity log, select the records you want to archive, select and save as the file menu. Name the file, preserve the ARC extension, select the drive directory where you want to save the file, and click Save. Helpful hint, you can select the records easily use the activity log filter. Archiving the records, the activity log does not automatically delete the records. To delete the records, return to the open activity log, highlight the records you archived. If you filter the records, highlight all the records in that preview, press delete. You can import the records archived with the Edconnect8 X and into Edconnect8 but not records archived in earlier versions of Edconnect. 5172 retention period. The retention period dialog box enables you to set up the length of the Edconnect retains the record for the activity log before the automatically deleting them. The sort of the retention period with the properties from the edit menu for the activity log is activity on your screen. Select and receive file from the properties dialog box. Click enable the automatic delete to achieve the delete function. 4. Drag the vertical bar into the middle of the retention field to set up the number of the days and default and the 0 delays, and click OK. Helpful hints. You can use your left arrow, right arrow keys. The key use the fine tune of your selection. Pressing the left arrow on the keys to lower the retention time from 1 day. By pressing the right arrow keys, increase it by 1 day. Alright, 518, the mailbox query. You can use the mailbox query to get a snapshot of the current contents of your Student Aid Internet Gateway mailbox. After performing the mailbox query, you can place requests of specific files in the transmission queue. To use the mailbox query, you will need a record selected with the transmission. Receive the transmission queue. Select now for the transmission menu. Connect to the Student Aid Internet Gateway. All the transmission complete for the open mailbox query. Selecting the new file with the menu. Select the menu query for the list of the views. You can also click the menu mailbox query between the Edconnect8 main toolbar with the select the items you want to receive the next transmission, putting in the check mark with the move the transmission queue column of the basic mailbox queries by selecting close from the file menu. This places the request in transmission queue for each of the file that you selected. Helpful hints. At the end of each of the transmission, Edconnect updates the mailbox query to reflect what is currently using the Student Aid Internet Gateway mailbox. If you receive all the data in your mailbox query will be empty, and because your mailbox is empty. To get a snapshot of the current contents of your Student Aid Internet Gateway box, follow these steps above performing the new mailbox query. 519, receive file view. List of the files that are recently downloaded views. Display the list of files that downloaded with the Student Aid Internet Gateway mailbox over the previous 10 days. You can download the files listed with the receive file view without having the files restored in the Student Aid Internet Gateway help desk. 5191. To re-download files, open the receive file view. To select the new file from the file menu. Select the receive file view from the list of views. Place the check marker to the move into the transmission queue. Checkbox left of the batch where you want to restore it. Close and review. Save the receive file view. Once the receive file view is closed, or save each record that have selected emission added to the transmission queue. Select now with the transmission menu to receive the selected files. Again, helpful hints. If the file has been restored with the mailbox for the Student Aid Internet Gateway help desk, the restored data field will be populated with the date of the file, which was put back in the archive. The date listed with the add date and the column of the received file view represents the date of the given item that was placed in the Student Aid Internet Gateway mailbox by the application system that processes that it. This restore an older than 10 days to your Student Aid Internet Gateway mailbox. Use the Transaction Delivery Community Manager archive view to contact Student Aid Internet Gateway Help Desk 800-330-5947. The Transaction Delivery Community Manager is available online HTTPS //saigportal.ad.gov/TDCM. The Student Aid Student Aid Internet Gateway help desk can restore any file of your mailbox is not older than 90 days. Files older than 90 days are archived and cannot be restored. 5110 Message Class Manager. Message Class Manager controls allowable messages classes that can be sent with the received. The message class tables must be imported with the same with the received. The message is updated periodically by the Financial Student Aid. The message class table is available on the Financial Student Aid download site, SPSA download at ed.gov. Note that ED contact will automatically import the table once that you have established the connection with the Financial Student Aid. Simple illustrates with the message class messenger. 5111. View the table below lists all the views of the educational connection with the play of the role and data to transmission. The middle column displays the toolbar button for each of the view. Clicking on the viewer's toolbar buttons open the view. The transmission queue looks like this: a world with 2 lines on it listing pending sending of the receiving request, which remain the transmission queue until processed until removed from them. Activity log shows a OA for the activity log. The process request of the sending receiving data from the Student Aid Internet Gateway message class messengers. A briefcase lists all the messages classed by project that are all available to send and receive. Mailbox query is a mailbox over the internet. Circuits list of the data message class available to the Student Aid Internet Gateway mailbox. Receive file shows an open file folder or open file cabinet. List all the data record message classes that have already been received with the student aid internet gateway during the last 10 days. Security is also as a padlock list of security groups the user IDs control access to the education connection and the student aid internet gateway. 5112 import files as an IMP file, the very large version of the transportation quota terminal. This must be effective the way from the institution send a large batch of the record over in one transmission. Only users that are set up the unintended users can use the IMP files. All IMP files must be created in specified record layout in order to transmit successfully. Using applications such as TextPad, it recommended to create the records as they depend on the exact placement of the information. The TextPad displays the information set. Figure 5112.1 sets up an IMP file or import file. Below are the specific requirements creating an IMP file header. The field number, the description type, the required length and positions. Data field number, description type, required length and positions. Alright, your field description, serial number, the field is a position reference only, no editing performed on the field, but it is not required by the mainframe, but the system should all use this position to subsequently number the commands in an output folder. File. The return code of the field represents the successful failure of the process of the command. The field ignored on the input with the records so it can become populated or left blank. However, this field will be populated with the return code for the records activity of the response file. See the response file name below. Unintended user ID with the field represents the unintended user ID to use the processing of the import file. The field is not required for the unintended user ID as was specified for the current user. The user specified with the education connection INI file is used. If in the unintended user is specified with the unintended user ID, it must be listed in group ID that have been proved. If no group ID is specified with the current user and the unintended user ID, if approved, must be unique and across all groups. Do not notify that it is not username field. The username is used as auditing purposes, student and internet gateway. Or your group ID of the fielding, the representative of the group ID to use the processing for the import field. The field is not required if no group ID is specified with the current user. The financial student aid user ID is provided with the most unique across all groups. In neither the financial student aid user ID group D and another group ID is specified with the password must be provided with the using the import file. Encrypted password. The file represents the password to be used with the specific current username. The 8x contact 8x password encrypted for the extra security. The encrypted password can be found with the user profile, education connection, financial student aid user ID of the group ID specified with the password should match with the user specified with the education connection INI file. The password does not match the import process is aborted, but the appropriate return code is written with the response file. The encrypted password can be found with going with the security view of the screen. User property tools and under the verified password fields. Password can contain special keyboard characters such as the @ and $sign and $, but because some of the computer platforms program special characters are commanded with the characters recommended avoiding percentage command percent less than greater than and pipe symbol. Do not use the // double quotation mark or question mark. Response file name of the field represents the file to which the education connects wire writes. The return codes associated with each of the command record of the field is not required if they're not completed with the file TQEARR or current education connection directory is created. The response file contains the exact copy of the input file with the return code and the column filed in with the result of the execution of the command. The field must be valid long file name if present. Alright, action. This field represents the action to perform the current record, or T, the only current valid action valid. The commanding record T, the action column is immediately transmitted with the batch mode and added with the content of the transmission queue. Record all the transmission activity log. Note that only the records of the transmission queue that have the batch mode field set true are transmitted during the import transmission. The transmission record must be the last record in the import file if present at all. Only one T recommends should be present in the given import file. The action column that contains the T as all fields on the same record following the action are ignored. Leaving the action in space empty will set the transmission to the manual. After loading the batch of the mode contents, the user will transmit the batch modes, adding the contents using the transmission feature. Message class. The field represents the message class with the use of the command of the field that uses the cross-reference the message of the class database to populate the majority of the transmission queue. But this field is required for all the data records that does not have an action of the type of the T. Field name, file name. The file may represent the path or of the file name in which the user received the requested message class data. The field may also represent the file to transmit the student aid internet gateway. For send request, the field is required on the student. Second send request, which is the field in the blank received the request, if populated with the file name value of the associated message class database record. batch number of the field and pass through the value of the application system can utilize if it wants. There is no editing done on this field. Mailbox. The restricted use of the field can only be used by the data providers within the student aid internet gateway. The field was rejected if used by the proper setup that has been not completed. If you're the data provider, you would want your education connection. Please connect with the student aid internet gateway help desk. The field is used to indicate in which the mailbox data is sent to send records of validation of the field and limited to the checking length of the completion list of all the mailboxes within the student aid internet gateway system and not available until the connection with the student aid internet gateway is established. If the field is left blank, the import classes do false with the mailbox value to the corresponding mailbox specified in the message class manager table. Return codes below the list of possible return codes you may receive. That if you are the IMP, is not created correctly, then you will appear to the error log with the location of the name of which the designation response file name and file name field. The value of the description command successful in the corrective action none. 99 user error the supplied user. 49 the user error supplied user cannot be loaded. Ensure the specified user exists for the education and security view. Execute the disk verification program scan disk. 998 transmission error. The import process was unable to complete the finish of the request important transmission process. The Edconnect help the system connected properly. Resolution received the activity log for the possible causes. 997 general error that has occurred with the contact the CPS of the student aid internet gateway technical support. 996 a duplicated record was requested added to transmission queue that was already present. Remove the duplicated request for the error to import the file from the existing transmission queue. Unknown full action record with the unknown action type that was submitted to validate all the records for the import of the file with the validation action. 394 with the password error incorrect. The password was given the user to verify the password beginning the use of the valid for the specified user. 993 access there. The user does not have the access to perform this operation. Verify the security group in which the user belongs that has updated the rights to the transmission queue. 006 message in class invalid. To verify the message class imported with the record class, the message class is database. 007 file name invalid. To ensure the file name path is correct, to ensure the corresponding file exists in the specified directory. 009 incorrectable relationship with the BT and ID message class. Verify the relation between the ID message class is correct. 0010 match number is invalid. You ensure the correct length of the batch number. 012 the mailbox invalid. Ensure that the correct length of the mailbox is specified. Adding the sending of the record. Ensure the mailbox is specified with either the record of the message class database for the associated message class. The 013 missing TG number that applies to service mode only with verify the TG number is in the correct space with the record layout. And although there's contact the CPS and the student aid internet gateway technical support. Alright, below is a partial image correctly set up for the IMP file. You have your serial code, your return code, your group ID, your financial student user ID, the encrypted password, and response file name with a message class and file qualified path full name and action. The T at the bottom indicates the automatic file, and by placing the T there, it will place the security and authentication process transmitted automatically. The other option to leave the space empty that creates a manual transmission, meaning the security and authentication process bypassed with the transmit icon, or now the option with the transmission menu must be selected by the user. 5113 unintended transfers user IDs IMP files. Unintended transfers are normally issued by the sending a large IMP file during the full off-peak of the hours to avoid slowing down the system. Only users marked with the unintended user that can be used of the IMP file for the purpose of the documentation the user will be referred to as the unintended user ID. The security view of the user will making the unintended transfer must be marked with the intended user will be making the unintended user ID, and a user name can be created by the user intended by the user ID if do not have been used with the financial student aid user ID. Unintended user ID will not be visible with the security authentication screen able to log in to education next following the transmission order to verify the success, and then financial student aid user ID can be marked with the unintended the user the checking the box from the user property dialog box is shown below. Once of the check boxes checking with the password fields will appear with the financial student aid user password entered and stored. Notice that since the unintended user ID is not able to log in, the ed content with the financial student aid user marker and unintended will not be able to log in. If the unintended user is marked with accidentally a different financial student aid user ID, will have login in order to uncheck for the unintended user ID. Highly recommended to create a username different from the financial student aid user ID to use the unintended user. Alright, you have user property, general directories, colors, and printing of the user ID, user password, expiration name, verified encrypted password, user data status, full name for middle name, initial name, OK. 51131, loading in the IMP files of the transmission coil of the manual transmitting as an unintended user. For manual transmission, you will need your IMP file to have the last link as blank. The last line reads 0000660,000. There's no T following the number. This means the user will have will have to physically select the transmission icon or now option under the transmission menu. On your desktop, where the ED contact shortcut runs, right-click with the shortcut, select the Create Shortcut, so then the shortcut icon appears that you can rename this in the IMP shortcut. You'll need to have add a string of the target path where the IMP was stored. In the case of the Educate the is in CIMC, Student Aid Internet Gateway Temporary Directory. The target path will display within your Edconnect8 execute file stored. For example, the Edconnect8 database is the program files Edconnect8 directory. Alright, right-click on the IMP shortcut icon to select the properties at the end of the target path. Enter the CMIM Student Internet Gateway template fold FSAP and IMP so that it reads the program files Education Connection 8, Education 8 XX, so they connects the CIS Student Integration Gateway temporary the FSAP API. Click on then OK. Alright, your general shortcuts, compatibility, security, the education connection, type of the application, education connect, target, the FSIP, IMP, starting education connection, and start short up key to normal, running normal window, and the final target change icon. Double click the IMP shortcut icon, the education connection logo appears, then minimize the taskbar and click on the view of the education, verify that you are looking for the security view, click on the 2Q icon, verify that the files are loaded, click the transmit icon and now option for the transmission menu, verify that the transmission successfully, double check that the locating of the activity log. Helpful hints. For the Windows Visual Windows 7, the input files must be stored outside of the program files directory. With recommended you place them in the CIMS Student Aid Internet Gateway Temporary Directory for all operating systems. Alright, 5.1.13.1, loading an IMP file into the transmission queue with the automatically transmitting it as an unintended use of the manual transmission will need your IMP with the file with the extreme T in the last line with the example. The last line reads 0000660,000 T. The designator for the automatic unintended of the transmission also means the user does not have the physical T. Select the transmission icon or no option under the transmission menu. On your desktop with the Education Connection shortcut with the right click with the shortcut, select the Create Shortcut. The shortcut icon should appear with you can remain this for the IMP shortcut. You will need to add the string with the target path where the IMP should order. In the case of is using the CIM State Internet Gateway Directory, the target path will display where the Education Connect and example the file stored with example the Education Connex 8 database of the C program files Edconnect8 directory. Right-click on the IPM shortcut, impact icon selects the properties all at the end of the target path at the end of the C-IM say temporary FSIM file, so that it all reads the CM program files Edconnect and Edconnect execute CIM Student Internet Gateway temporary file FSIM IMP. Click apply and then OK. This is also making a shortcut for your double click in the IPM shortcut. The educational logo that will appear. Then will minimize the taskbar. Click on this to verify the transmission process has begun. Verify the transmission successful. You can also double check this by looking at the activity log. Helpful. Then for Windows 7 and Windows Vista, the IMP files must be stored outside of the program file directories. Recommended that you place them into the C drive IM Student Internet Gateway temporary directory for all operating systems. Alright, 6. Using educational testing environment.